Okay, so Predator Badlands, and I have to say, this franchise is so back, and Dan Trachtenberg crushed this once again, from the world building to the tone and the theme of what is the direction that we are going with this franchise, and this Predator world is back in full form, and I have never been more satisfied in my life than when I say I think this is the best looking Predator movie that I've seen in a while. And so this will be my full non-spoiler review, go over my thoughts and my impressions to the performances and based on the lore and all the stuff that we love about this franchise and much more, and what potential this has. And so, if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so much on any future videos, including movie reviews and much more. But now, let's talk about this movie. And now, when it comes to a franchise like Predator, it is one of those film series that's been handled so poorly. And you know, it started off with the 1987 movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that first Predator movie, it's full of that 80s cheesiness, but then it went down the line to have some poorly adapted sequels, like after Predator 2, and after it had a crossover with the Alien franchise. But then with the last Predator movie that was released theatrically, that was the Predator from 2018. But now, ever since this franchise went back into full form and everything that we love about it, when they brought on Dan Trachtenberg to run the rest of the series, and even after Prey and Predator Kill of Killers, that was his most recent Predator movies, and when it comes to Predator Badlands, this is like the best looking Predator movie ever. I mean, Dan Trachtenberg knows what he is doing, and especially for what they were going with and what type of the tone and what makes a Predator movie great, and just from the atmosphere and how they want to touch upon this and to make people happy and to bring them back in to experience more of this world. And yeah, I pretty much enjoyed my experience just from the entire world, and also just from the Predator franchise. But now I think we are so back when it comes to this movie, and I think for what they were trying to do is to make a good Predator movie, and that's exactly what this movie does. And with the premise of this movie is with a young Predator that comes from a clan to free an ally who is an android, and they team up together to go on this journey to find an anniversary and to bring it home. But that's mostly the young Predator's job. But just from how this movie is handled, from the character development, for the way that they develop this Predator creature on screen, and I can say I think if you are a diehard fan of this franchise and you've been wanting so much more after the mishaps that this franchise has had, you'll be very in for a treat just for what this Predator creature can do, and for the way that Dan Trachtenberg just handles the whole movie. And he definitely knows the lore and the type of world building and what type of the direction that this series wants to go, and potentially build something even greater. Also, just from a beginning, middle, and end, it really tells a complete story. And I think for after what he did with Prey, and now this is another live action Predator movie, I think this was a great choice to bring back the franchise that we know and love. Make a good movie out of the strong IP, which is for Predator. And I have to say, with all the performances that this movie brought, and you have Elle Fanning who plays the character of Thea, who is this android that has a dynamic, this chemistry between this Predator-like creature who wants to go after something much bigger, a much more bigger threat. And yeah, I love their dynamic, and it's just a simple journey, a great adventure, and even though there are no human characters throughout this movie, it's just them alone. Also, what I really like or when it comes to the actual warrior himself, Dig, I really enjoyed his journey, and this is going on his first hunt, and to make us really care about this creature, and it really dives into his backstory, and just to layer every single bit of the plot, and to make it even more enjoyable to learn about what he is going through and why he has to pair up with this android to enjoy that dynamic. And I love the impact that this movie builds, and the storyline, and just with everything that is really, really cool. And this is how you should do a Predator movie right. Like, set up these characters to go on an adventure and to probably fight some creatures, and nobody sticks to that type of adversary. And as far as bringing in new stuff to proper expand on the world, but also try to keep it simple as we like this franchise, but it properly delivers on such great quality stuff. There is a ton of action, ton of thrills involved, and I think I was completely engaged with these two. I think fans will definitely be in for a wild ride, just when it comes to what the tone and atmosphere of Predator has been built upon. And also, you have the dynamic delivering the goods, and there is that style of humor that goes around that definitely got a laugh out of me. But I just still think it sticks to its roots and everything that this franchise has been built upon. And even though it still focuses on the storytelling standpoint, it really keeps on track for what this movie really wanted to tell. And that is a fresh, neat, different concept Predator movie with these two having a full-on team up. That's exactly what I loved to see on screen. Yeah, I mean, that's what I loved about this movie. And just from the adventure that they go on, from what they stumble upon like along the way, and just from like the set pieces to how they wanted to accomplish this, and just from the script and for how they wanted to execute on the whole thing, and to make this a great Predator movie. And just from like everything alone, I am ready for more after this movie. And even though after like the last two recent Predator movies, and I think that this movie nails it yet again. And even though it has the PG-13 rating, and like it does not hold itself back from being a great movie, it gives you everything that you want. And even from the thrills, and just from like for how this predator creature knows how to handle weapons, and to tear things apart. And yeah, it's got that good stuff that you love. But I just do think from the rating itself, it should like not have that sort of impact on this movie. And I just do think that Trachtenberg handled this movie well. I could like talk about this movie forever, but I'm just like ready to see what more that this franchise has to deliver, and also because by the end they do tease that there is a sequel coming along, and I definitely want more out of this world. And this is how the Predator franchise is now back in full form. I mean, I give Trachtenberg the keys to the whole film series. Like, make a good Predator movie, and also having like a big world-building atmosphere. And I just love everything that comes along with it. And I definitely love the performance of Elle Fanning. I mean, she crushed it, and the type of characteristics that she brings to her side of the story and the history that she has. And this movie does dive deep into the backbone of this franchise, and plus there are like Easter eggs and hints, and there is a possible potential hint, a potential proper Alien versus Predator movie. And I won't say too much, but that there is some hints out there that you might know. But all I have to say, this film series is back in full swing. Dan Trachtenberg, I mean, he crushed. I mean, bravo to him. And I think after this movie, you'd be craving for more. I mean, I would want at least 2 to 3 movies from this man. And even though we didn't have a Predator movie for a while, but it's nice to know that we are back in full swing. I mean, Dan Trachtenberg knows his knowledge of the Predator lore, and just from the creatures and what type of stories that they have. And yeah, like this is the type of film that you have to see on the big screen, including for IMAX, and it is built for that type of experience. And just from the way that it looks and how it feels like a proper movie. It definitely feels like the franchise that we know and love. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind for more. And I guess with my final thoughts is I loved Predator Badlands. Trachtenberg just knows from the top of his head how to make a good movie, and this film was it. And I definitely enjoyed all of the attributes and all the things that come along that made this movie great. And I think this franchise is ready to dive deep into more of what's been missing from this franchise all along, even though it's been mishandled poorly. But just bring in more stuff and make more Predator movies. And I have full trust in Trachtenberg. I mean, I give him everything now, but yeah, I think I was very satisfied, and it's a highly recommend if you're a diehard fan of the franchise, or if you're curious about this one, to go out and see it, get your tickets. But yeah, I did definitely enjoy it. That's all I have to say. But that's going to do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and if you've seen Predator Badlands, or if you plan on seeing it, and also give me a rating to 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest, in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to notifications about future videos, and also follow all my social media, all linked down below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.